Hello students, welcome to Sri Ramanuja Vidyamandira Temple for Learning. Students, in previous lecture we discussed about there is a various topics such as there is a taxonomy, and the taxonomy it is a category, right? The taxonomy category it is also represents the taxonomy hierarchy, right? So in the taxonomy hierarchy we discussed so many important things, that is kingdom, phylum or division, or class, order, family and genus, and followed by species, right? So that's why I'm given a one acronyms, that is keep putting chocolate out of a goodness sake, right? So for your remembering the type of concept in the taxonomic hierarchy, right? So let us talk about the today's topic, that is about the very important concept, student, that is a species concept. So it is very important for the NEET point of view, student, because of it is definitely they will ask who coined the term that species, and who identify the biological species concept, and who identify the polytypic species concept. These things is very important for the NEET point of view. Let us talk about the species concept, right? So the species concept it is also represent the first one we are going to discuss, that is a static species concept. The static means here we have to go through the in a numbering system. That's why we have to represent here the static species concept. It can be identified by the three important scientists, that is Linnaeus and Aristotle and Plato. This is a very important point, student. The static species concept identified by there are three persons. Let us talk about the species static species concept. It would be another point. We have nominalist species concept. Nominalist it is also represents the naming of the species, and other one is that biological species concept. It is other name is also represent. We have to providing the that is a scientific name of organism to a particular organism. So it can be identified by Mayer. Okay, it is also represents the Ernest Mayer. Ernest Mayer, right, student? So Ernest Mayer and Mayer it would be the same only, both of them same only, no? And the last another one is that polytypic species concept. It is identified by K. Jordan. I hope you understand all this concept. Who proposed the species concept, right? So let us move to the next slide. So we have to discuss about the static species concept in a detailed information. It is also known as topological species concept. Why we call it as a topological? We have to topological it is deals with the external morphology, like what with that the shape and the size and the color. So it is also represents what that all the animals that are the same in the shape and size, color, and belong to the same species. For suppose you can take an example of like Felidae, right? The Felidae is represents the cat family, right? What are the cat family? You know, that is a lion and as well as the cat. It is a belong to the cat family, right? So that you can see, for example, you can see assume that the tiger and as well as the lion, that size and everything is to be similar only, no, right? The shape and size would be similar, but differ the color, no. So some organism, what I'm saying is that some organism it is related to the same species of organism. That organisms of the two organisms, that shape and the size and color would be it is same. I hope you understand about this concept. And it is also, you know, that what is that it is identified by Linnaeus, right? It is a further it is justification is done by the Aristotle and followed by other person is Plato, right, student? Let us talk about the some exception is included in this static species concept. What are the exception here? So in some cases the members of the species are not morphological similarity, but cannot be said they are different species. So this is a exception. So for suppose there are so many concepts. For example, student, I will let you know one thing. It is that I am the one of the scientist. Okay, assume I am a scientist. So I proposed one concept. So you are also some scientist, no? So what I'm meaning that my predictions and my hypothesis you are opposing to me. So that that type of things is also it is erases in that period of time. So whoever is the period of that Linnaeus is actually proposer here the static species concept. Some members is opposing that the static species concept. Why they're especially opposing to the static species concept? So what is the Linnaeus told here? No, it is the color and shape size would be belong to the same species, but some of the scientists they given some exception to the that whoever the Linnaeus proposed the line cannot be matchable. What is that here? No, in some cases the member of the species are not morphologically similar but cannot be said they are different species. But here also same species only, but here what they mention here, so they had mentioned only one thing. It is, of course, it is the same species. We agreed that, but it cannot be not a same morphological features. So that is a main point they are opposing to the static species concept. I hope you understand this point, right? Let us talk about the remaining in the static species concept itself. Let us discuss about the various example here. Like I can see ova, a pupa, and the larva of a silkworm, right? Silkworm, you already know that. Ova and pupa of larva silkworm. There is a ova, pupa, larva, and the size you can say, you can take an example, shape you can take an example, and color. All these three things you have to consideration of these three. No. So what about the ova, pupa, and larva of silkworm? Not identical in the morphology, but cannot be said they are the different species. So there all are that is a what is that the silkworm is actually shows the what is that indirect development. Why indirect development? First of all, the silkworm would be it is a lace eggs are nothing but ova, and it is a developed into the pupa stage. The pupa is developed into the larva, and finally it is a converted into the silkworm. It is that, right? So this is considered to be that not identical morphology, but it cannot be said they are the different species. I hope you understand, student. Next, polymorphism. It is represents the polymorphism and it represents the different. Okay, the polymorphism is represents the it's in a termites and the honeybee. The polymorphism means it is a different arrangement, different shapes. The morphism means changes. There is a different. There are many. Poly means many. A different changes we can observe in the case of the termites and as well as the honeybee. Right. So. So the polymorphism means it is a difference in the many changes in the termites and the honeybee, right? So next, the other one is called the sexual dimorphism. Sorry for the students for inconvenience, right? So next one is that sexual dimorphism. There is a what we observe now. There is that in the Coelenterata. Sexual dimorphism. Okay, sexual dimorphism means there is a changes in there is a separate sexual dimorphism we can observe. There is a Coelenterata like polyp and medusa form, right? So this is also we discussed in the earlier like animal kingdom. Sibling species that are the same in shape and size and color but cannot be interbreed. So this is about the information about the some exception. It is the static species concept, right, student? Let us move to the next one is nominalistic species concept. This concept is a no existence of the species in nature, but it is the species only the imagination of human brain. Okay, imagination of human brain only. So the nominalistic species concept means so there is a human being is thinking about maybe there is a in a particular surrounding there is a one species is to be existed. So there is a that species actually there is a certain shape, certain color. It would be like that. There is a imaginary only. So that's why it is a no existence species in nature. It is only consideration of imagination view of what is that human being only. Next, the other one is that the biological species concept. It is a very very important point, student. This is a most acceptable concept. Whatever the we are seen in the static and nominalistic and right now we are discussing about the biological species. This is the most important and is a mostly widely acceptable concept it is. So now let us talk about the what is tells about this one. Biological species concept means the population of interbreeding individuals with a common gene pool. What is the common gene pool here? So that means here I am talking about the what is the common gene pool here. it is a form of the reproductivity community, it is a continuity reproductivity community. That means the organism, it is attains the, there is a continuous reproduction process, right? And there is a ecological unit, there is a chances of, there is a one, this organism, it is a share with the other organism in a interrelationship in the among the ecological balance, right? It maintains the ecological balance in the ecosystem. And it is also a genetic unit. The genetic unit would be, it is in the form of the, what is that, the DNA, okay? So deoxyribonucleic acid. So this is the most acceptable class concept it is. So what is that? The population of interbreeding individual with a common gene pool. The common gene pool it is, this is about the information it is. I hope you understand this point, student. Let us talk about the remaining point, remaining concept. The polytypic species concept. Polytypic species concept, it is a determined by behavior, animal behavior, we can etiology, okay, etymology. The study of the animal behavior is called the etymology, and study of embryo is called the embryology. Study of ecology, environmental ecosystem, it is the ecology. And the ecology means the living organism and their interrelationship with the surroundings, ecology. Cytology means study of the cell. Biochemistry means the study of the living chemicals, the study of the chemical biochemicals constituents in the organisms. So these are all consideration is done by in the polytypic species concept. Okay, so the species is to be determined with the favor of behavior, embryology, ecology, cytology, and biochemistry. Let us talk about the polytypic species concept, what they are talking about. It form population that have a gene pool with the free gene flow. So likewise the biological species concept, it is also shows what is that, a gene pool with a free gene flow. Okay, free gene flow, that means it is easily existed. Now gene flow, it is a one organism to another organism, the gene is to be easily transmitted now. So in the population, within the population. Next, adaptation and natural selection occur. Adaptation and natural selection is occur. Okay, adaptation means changes in accordance to the surroundings. Okay, in the organism, they attain their life into in a another way. No, for suppose adaptation, you can take an example here, like color change of organism in the body. Okay, so this is a camouflage, you can take adaptation. Okay, and natural selection of occur. No, what is the natural selection? You already learned about the natural selection. Example is that naturally decided whether the organism is to be survive or not. So this is about the natural selection. It is identified, it is done by identified by Charles Darwin. Okay, so the adaptation and natural selection is occurs in the this species concept. Okay, next, they have a power of evolution. Power of very important point now. So what are the ancestors traits? It is a ancestor traits is accumulated in the within the organism or not. So that is also, it is, we can observe in the polytypic species concept main information now. What is the meaning of evolution? Evolution is a process. What is that? Here organism attains the ancestral characters that can be transmitted in the next species. It's a very important concept now. Father of evolution is a Charles Darwin. Okay, they have the power of evolution is shows in the species. Next one, each species has the capacity to give rise to new species. This is the very important point. Each species have a capacity to give the new species continuously. It is a with the help of the reproduction, it is a continuously give rise to a new species. So once you have to give to the one species to another species, there is a continuous gene flow will be transmission is going on. That means one species having the one gene, and those genes is to be transmitted to the other genes. It is that, no, right, student? Like so the next, the other important concept, that is, you can see types of species, right? Types of species we will discuss now. So what are the types of species? So let us talk about the types of species here now. We have several varieties of types of species is there now. Sympatric species, allopatric species, sibling species, polytypic species, and the other one is that keystone species, taxonomic species, endemic species, and epidemic species. So let us talk about the each and every information. Sympatric species, what does that mean? This species inhabiting same geographic area, inhabiting of same geographic area. For suppose you can take one geographic area, this one, no. So here only our organism is to be existed, no. So this dotted represents the what is that, a species. The species inhabiting a same geographic area, so it is found within the geographic area. Allopatric species, the species inhabiting in a different geographic area. This is, you can assume this one is the A, and this is about the different geographic area B, right? So some species is to be found in the A, and some species is also found in the B. So that is a different geographical area. Next, sibling species, a group of very similar and closely related species which cannot be interbred, but it is difficult to separate them on the basis of morphological characters alone. So it is a group of very similar and closely related species. So we cannot interbreed. Those similar species cannot be interbreeded, but difficulties, separation would be, it is very difficult. So why? Because of in what criteria we are difficult? On the basis of morphological characters, it cannot be differentiated. So the sibling species, for example, you can see, for example, group of brother is there, no, brother and sisters is there, no. So for example, you can see I'm talking about that. For example, insect is there, no, same species of insect. Okay, you can take an example of this one. Cannot be interbreed, but it is difficult to separate because of this feature. Next example, you can see one example. Drosophila, what is that? Pseudobuscura and Drosophila persimilis. So these are the two type of insects, right? These insects is actually, what you understand now, they cannot be separate because of it is a closely related species, but different scientific name. These are closely related species, closely related, cannot be interbreed. It is because of, on the basis of this one is cannot be, because of these are the insects. These are the insect students. Belong to the Drosophila insect, it is that. These are the insects. No, fruit fly varieties it is. Okay. So next, polytrypic species. Polytrypic species means the species which can consist two or more subspecies. Okay, two or more subspecies. What is that? Corvus splendens splendens. Corvus splendens splendens. It is a scientific name for the crow. Corvuscus splendens isolans. It is also indicating the crow only. What is that? The species which consist of two or more subspecies. So a common example of this one is that crow. The crow is actually, what is that? It is a best example for the trinomial nomenclature. Why? Because of binomial nomenclature, you are already seen that is that there is a two components are present. One is the genus and followed by species. But in the case of the polyphytic species, it shows the trinomial binomial nomenclature. That means Corvus splendens splendens. Here you can see Corvus means it is a genus. Splendens is a represent the species. Another splendens is also represent the species. That means you can understand here it is also a best example for what is that? A trinomial nomenclature. And here also genus and species and species. So the both scientific name would be, what is that? It is indicating for crow only. I hope you understand this is about the types of a species. Right, student? Let us talk about the remaining point. Keystone species. What does that mean? Very, very important point, student. This is a neat point of view. Definitely they will ask this question now. Right? So the dominant species are mainly responsible for environmental modification and alternation in the community composition, and act as a keystone species, and their critical impact on community and environment is more important than their abundance or dominance. This is a very wonderful point. It is that, suppose you can take an example of the two species, A species and B species here present now, right? So the dominant species are there. So here I am talking about the A species is actually more dominant than B species. So what you understand here now, this dominant species, I am taking example of A only. A is a dominant species, for suppose it is responsible for the environmental modification. For suppose here what you are taking the environmental modification. So what is for example camouflage, you can take an example. Here also camouflage, and camouflage you can take for example changing the color in accordance to the environment. It is represent the environmental modification, and secretion of the poisons to the enemies, that is also environmental modification. And that environmental modification is occurs and followed by some alternation. There is a changes is also present in the community, right? So the community is in the group of organism is available in the community. So community composition is also changes takes place. So that's why it is called as the what is that, a keystone species, a very very important species, keystone species. Next, the critical impact on community. Why critical impact on a community? Because it changes. I already notified, no, environmental modification followed by changes in the communities takes place. That's why it shows the critical impact on community and environment is more important than their abundance or dominance. Actually it is a dominant, there we are already saying, no, but we cannot say then the dominant thing. It is that only the what are the things they are responsible to the environment, that is only we have to take in the main agenda point. It is, that's why it is a keystone species. Okay, let us talk about the example here. Oak, you can take an example. It is a keystone species of the tropical rainforest. Okay, so what is that? The figure it is represents the a keystone species of the temperate rainforest, right? Next, kangaroo rat. Kangaroo rat is also represents what is that? A keystone species of the desert. I will explain what the kangaroo rat. The kangaroo rat can survive without water also, right? This is a very very important point. It is. Let us talk about the taxonomic species. Right, student? Taxonomic species. A species have a definite binomial name. Binomial name. A species have a definite binomial name. It represents the taxonomic species. So that is the taxonomic category we already discussed now. So what are the taxonomic category? There are so many species are there now. The species actually shows the what is that? There is a nomenclature. Such type of nomenclature is called the binomial nomenclature. That means the species having the scientific name with the two components. One is the genus, another one is the species. So in the taxonomic point of view, the taxonomic species, the species have the definite binomial name. That means scientific name. Next, endemic species. Endemic species means the species is restricted in particular area. The species is restricted in a particular area. It is called the endemic species. So the species is restricted in the particular area. For example, endangered species, you can take an example. Critically endangered species example, take an example. Like endemic species, it is that. Species are restricted in a particular area, endemic, right? So that is also, it is a part of red data list book, red data book. These are the organism, is a part of red data book. It's very very important point, student. Endemic species. Epidemic species. Epidemic species means a cosmopolitan species. Cosmopolitan means what? It is a survive in the land, air and water, right? So those species is to be survive in the what is that? Water, land, air, that we called as a cosmopolitan, right? That is called the epidemic species. Let us talk about the speciation. Very very important. Formation of one or more new species from pre-existing species. It is called as speciation. It is also identified by Mayer, Ernest Mayer. Identified by Ernest Mayer. Let us talk about the speciation. Would be the two type of speciation we can observe now. First of all, allopatric speciation. What does that mean? When a population formally, continuously. So population, you can take an example. You can see We will discuss the example also. Darwin finches, I'm taking example now. Darwin finches. Finches is nothing but it is a bird. Birds, right? Marsupial radiation, kangaroo. Okay, marsupial radiation. So this is a kangaroo also, we can take an example. So when population form continuously in a range splits into two or more geographically isolated population and form new species. New species. For suppose you can see when population form continuously is there. Finch bird only take an example now. So in a range, that finch birds it is split into two or more geographical isolated population. That means this is a one geographical population you can consider as a, and this is another geographical population you can consider as a B. So the bird is actually moving from the A to B, and similarly it is also moving from the B to A, and there is a lot of C is also you can take. There are different geographical regions is there. No? For suppose any chances may arise. At the same time C to A chances takes place, and B to A is there. No, A D to A, like anything we can possibility is there. No, this is a different. The population is formed continuously in a range and is split into two or more geographical isolated population areas. So this is A, B, C, D is indicate the geographical areas. So that form, what is that? A new species. So how it formed the new species? I will discuss one more important thing. It is that suppose there is a small finch bird is there. No, for example, the beak size would be thus very small, right? The beak size would be very small, but in case of other geographical area, it would be what is that? There is a long finch bird we can observe now, right? So this is a changes we can observe in case of what is that? So in case of what is that? There is a long finch bird we can observe this one, right? This is a small finch bird, and this is called a long finch bird, right, students? So this is a things we are going to discuss now, right? Next, the other one is called the what is that? Sympatric speciation. Sympatric speciation means, I hope you understand what is the meaning of allopatric speciation. When a population form continuously and that can be migrated from the one region to another region, one geographical region to another geographical region, and finally forms the new species. So for example, you can see initially there are different type of varieties we can observe now. One is the short beak size bird, and one is the long sized bird now, and at the same time we can also represent there are different colors also we can observe now. Generally Darwin finches you can type in the Google student, there are a lot of there is a lot of what is that we can observe now. There is a color would be different, and wing size would be different, and the beak size would be different. These things we discuss now. Similarly, it is also applicable to the marsupial radiation, right, student? Let us talk about the one more point. Sympatric speciation. Sympatric speciation means when the population reproductively isolated in the midst of its parent population and form new species. So what does that mean? Midst of its parent population. Okay, population is reproductively isolated from the midst of its parent population, form the new species. Let us talk about the example here. Quoted example of the sympatric speciation comes from polyploidy. Polyploidy means when the chromosomes fails to segregate at the meiosis or replicate without undergaining the mitosis. So actually you can observe, student, what you observe now, the parents is actually what is the responsible for the what is that species, new species formation is occurs now. Here sympatric speciation means here these are the organisms cannot shows the what is that from the it is developed from the here the parent actually. The parent is responsible for the development of new species. The parent is actually attains a character here, polyploidy. The polyploidy means chromosomes fails to segregate meiosis. That means unable to follow the any DNA replication we can observe here now. Okay, so that replicate without undertaking the mitosis. Mitosis actually in the body cell is occurs. Meiosis occurs in the what is that in the sexually reproductive organism. So that when the chromosome fails to segregate at meiosis, generally you know already what is that there is a the diploid chromosomes is to be segregated and forms in the 4 haploid cell at the end of the meiosis. But in the case of these 4 haploid chromosomes are not formed in the polyploidy conditions of the parent. No. So the quartet example of sympatric species, that means the sympatric species, these are the species are developed from the polyploidy parent. Polyploidy means the chromosomes are fails to segregate meiosis. That means haploid chromosomes are not formed at the end of meiosis. So this is about the called as the sympatric species. Once again you can see a population reproductively isolated in midst of its parent population and form new species. So that means here there is a complete division we cannot observe now. There is a complete meiosis division, a reproductivity division we cannot observe now. Incomplete meiosis division we can observe. Incomplete or absence of meiosis we can observe. That's why a new species would be formed here now. That new species, it is sympatric speciation. Very, very important now. Let us talk about the remaining part. That is called the reproductive isolation. Reproductive isolation means Mayer, again Mayer, Ernest Mayer only define the term. What is that? The reproductivity isolation. Biological properties of individual which prevents interbreeding of naturally sympatric population. So Mayer told that, what is that? What is the Mayer told that the biological properties of individual, certain, for example, biological property of individual, what is that? Gametes transfer, reproduction, fission, fertilization, these are all called as biological properties of individual. These which prevent the interbreeding of naturally sympatric population. So interbreeding condition means there is no fertilization, there is no there is a proper individual species is not formation is not occurred here now. So that is, it prevent the interbreeding. Interbreeding means it is as the organism is to be involving the copulation process, okay, and the fertilization process, that could be prevented by naturally of sympatric population. And there are many natural intrinsic means it is the internal factor. There is natural internal factor barrier which preventing the between the two species. That means no genetic exchange between the different species occurs. So when this possible here, no, I will let you know easily. So there is no here what they are saying Mayer, reproductivity isolation when it is occurs. So the biological properties of individual which prevent the interbreeding of natural sympatric population. When it occurs, no, when there is a polyploidy condition on the within the parent. Okay, so that what is the polyploidy condition within the parent? That means the chromosomes are fails to segregate or separation at meiosis level. So that's why what happened in that condition is arises, there is no genetic changes is occurs between the one species to another species. That way you can mention, no, there is no genetic exchange between the two different species occurs. That means one gene to another gene cannot be transmission. There is no fertilization, there is no fission, there is no zygote formation is occurs here now. So exception of reproductivity isolation, this is we call it as reproductivity isolation. Next, exception, tigons as a hybrid of African lioness and Asian tiger which is fertile and no barrier to hybridization between these species has evolved during their long isolation from their each other. So what they are talking about, the tigon is what is the tigon? What is that? Tigon means it is a cross between the lions and the Asian tiger, that we call the tigon. No? So which is a fertile actually. It is not produce, it is a further organism. It is a fertile. And no barrier of hybridization between these species. No barrier there is no barrier of hybridization. These species. But has evolved during their long isolation from each other. It can be evolved the long isolation. That could be in a naturally only. It is not at all in a laboratory manner. Right, student? It is an exception of reproductivity isolation. Let us talk about the remaining part, that is taxonomical aids. Right? Very, very important point, student. Taxonomic studies of various species of plant, animal and other organisms are useful in the agriculture, forestry, industry, in general in the knowing our bioresources and their diversity. Let us talk about this point. It is, we are already discussed about the taxonomic study. What is the meaning of taxonomy? It is a deals with the identification, classification and nomenclature of organism, so of various species of plant, animal and other organism. So that taxonomical aids is very important to find out in a particular area. So we can also find the agriculture, plant, okay, what we can know the plant morphology, we know the plant characters, okay. Forestry, in the forestry also plants and animals are there. Industry means poultry industry, you can take an example, and another one is a cow industry and poultry, and another one is that cow, buffalo, and what the milk they're giving, okay. So in general, knowing our bioresources and their diversity. Bioresources, that means renewable resources are what are they, and what are the bioresources of animal and plant, okay, and their diversity, their differentiation also we can easily predict it with the help of a taxonomical aids. I hope you understand first point. These studies would require correct classification and identification of organism. We already know that taxonomy is already deals with what is the identification, classification followed by nomenclature. So here what you understand now, identification of organism require intensive laboratory and field studies. So this is a very important now, intensive laboratory and field studies. So for suppose you are a one expert, you are a biologist, you are visiting one surrounding areas in your nearby your room, in nearby your home only, in your garden you can. For suppose you have a garden only. In garden you are found one species, new species. So you are identified what type of species it is, whether I seen before or not. You are identified in a such a way, with the help of the laboratory equipment, like what is that, like microscopic evidences, right? So in the field studies, so that area we can observe with the help of the taxonomical aids. Next, the collection of actual specimens of plant and animal species is essential, and it is a prime sources of the taxonomic studies. This is a very important collection of actual species of the plant and animal species. Plant and animal species are there now. It is very essential, and the prime source for the what is that, the taxonomic studies, right? These are also called the fundamental to studies and essential for training in systematics. It is also represent the fundamental to studies, fundamentals. We have to learn what are the fundamentals from there. After identification, what are the fundamentals is then, what are the basic idea to for the animals and plants. And it is also essential for training in the systematic. It is represent the arrangement in a proper order only, right student? So the next other one is that it is used for classification of organism and information gathering. It is also stored along with the specimens, okay. It is also used for the classification. Already classified the organism. Once classified the organism, you are giving to the nomenclature to the particular organism, okay. So that nomenclature nothing but information gathered. Information gathered means you are providing the nomenclature, giving to the binomial nomenclature, scientific name to the organism. Information gathered is also stored along with the specimen. For suppose I am giving to you, for example, you are observed one bottle's information, okay. In bottle you can take an example, like a museum you can take an example now. In a museum there is a deadly specimens is to be preserved in the inside of the bottle. For suppose you can see there is a one value, it is a dangerous snake you can observe now. This dangerous snake of deadly snake, it is to be preserved in the, there is a solution is called a 10% of formaldehyde, right? 10% of formaldehyde, that we are already discussed in the next class. 10% of formaldehyde we have to preserve in the what is the specimen. So that is I'm giving. This one is that in the outside of the bottle we have to mention about there is a what is the name of the species and what is the scientific name. That is only we have to provide here now. Information is gathered and also along with the specimen. In some cases, the specimen is preserved for future studies. How we preserved here? With the help of the 10% of formaldehyde only. Right, student? Next, the biologists have established the certain procedures and techniques to store and preserve the information and as well as the specimen. So the biologist, I am the biologist, you are also biologist, okay? So establish certain procedures how to preserve this species in a right manner with the help of the solution. What we are using here, no 10% solution, and what are the techniques we have to follow to store the deadly specimen, and how to preserve the information in a we have to give to the studies information provided to the students and other knowledgeable resources person, and as well also we have to protect the specimen also. So this is a very important duties we have to follow. Some these explained by help you understand the usage of the aids. So this is a very useful for the how we usage of this aids. So student, this is only for importance about the taxonomic aids only, student. Right? So the next other important thing is that herbarium. Herbarium you already know, that is a dried specimens of the plant species can be preserved on the herbarium sheet, right? So this is called the herbarium part. Herbarium part is a very gives an idea about the what type of plant, what is the name of the scientific name of the plant, what are the morphology of the plant, what type of root system it is, what type of leaf it is. So from the top to bottom point of flowering plant or non-flowering plant, we can easily predict it with the help of the herbarium process. So let us talk about the herbarium. It is a storehouse of collected plant specimens that are dried, preserved on sheet, and further these sheets are arranged. Now I can see this is the herbarium showing the stored specimen, right? These are all files is indicate the herbarium, and in this file only you can see there is a plant is present now, right student? So students, this is about my class, today's class. In the next class I will continue the herbarium and herbarium types and what are the herbarium locations are there in the India and around the world. We will discuss in the next class. Thank you students. Thank you all. Have a good day.